if you love pasta but want a really healthy alternative, or maybe 5 healthy alternatives, watch this whole video. So today's video is all about healthy pasta alternatives. Sometimes I feel like just posting the hashtag, there's no excuse. I don't know if that's harsh, but there is just no excuse to not have a healthy pasta alternative, or even so many healthy food alternatives. So I really wanted to focus on pasta today because there's just so many. So I feel like it needs a video on its own. Right here, we've got our gluten-free pastas. We've got our shirataki tofu pasta. We have our kelp noodle pasta, our zucchini zoodle pasta, and our spaghetti squash pasta. Well, these are supposed to be even slices. If you've watched any of my cooking videos, you know I'm not the best chef in the world. It tastes good, it just doesn't always look pretty. It is what it is. Basically, what you have to do is slice the spaghetti squash in half. You put it face down on a pan in the oven. You bake it at 400 degrees, anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, and that's it. You should also scoop the seeds out before. I usually do it after, honestly, really doesn't matter. But really quick, spaghetti squash is a squash. It is still a carb, but it's a very healthy carb. So we're not afraid of all carbs. We just don't want like the processed refined carbs. Spaghetti squash is amazing for you. It's packed with vitamin A, vitamin C. Both of these are amazing ingredients for your skin, for anti-aging, to fight wrinkles. They really help brighten up your complexion. It's less calories than regular traditional pasta, less carbs, more vitamins, more minerals, more antioxidants, more fiber. It's gonna keep you fuller. So what's the catch? There really is no catch. Obviously it's not the exact same, but it's actually really cool if you've never seen spaghetti squash or how it works. This is literally just straight out of the oven. And then it looks like this. And you just take a fork and you kind of scoop it out, and you see how it looks like in the shape of like a noodle. You can eat this in so many different ways. Sometimes I like to just cook it in a pot with some tomato sauce and add some like chopped veggies like zucchini, tomatoes, mushrooms, and it's almost kind of like a ratatouille almost. You can do it with like pesto and make like a pesto noodle. You can literally do anything with it that you would do with normal pasta. And this is just one half of it. It makes quite a bit. There's one whole bowl. I guess I don't really need to do the other side because you guys get the picture, but it's like spaghetti. I'm just gonna take a little bite even though it has nothing on it. Oh my God, that is delish. I love spaghetti squash. I don't know why I don't make this more. I love anything you can make in the oven because you don't have to do any work. You just bake it and go about your life and then come back and it's done. So the next thing I have is zucchini noodles. This is a little bit different because it is a little bit crunchier. Like spaghetti squash is full on cooked, so you've got that really like nice, warm, grounding, filling meal. Whereas this is a little bit crunchier. It's not super crunchy, but it's not as soft as pasta. This I recommend eating kind of like a cold dish or maybe a lunch dish. You can eat it with pesto. You can even make like a creamy Alfredo sauce with it. There's lots of vegan alternatives to Alfredo. You can Google a recipe. Maybe I can put one below this video. Or if you guys have a recipe, put it below this video. You can do it with like some fresh lemon. There's so many different variations of it. The cool thing about zucchini noodles is that, first of all, look at this huge bowl. This is all just zucchini. So you're really just eating a vegetable. So if you really like a heavier pasta, if you like the heavier cream sauces, and even pesto can be a little heavy because we're using pine nuts, which are higher in fat. Zucchini noodles are the perfect thing to pair this with because you've got a really light veggie that's low in calorie, low in carbs, high in nutrients. Then you're pairing it with a heavier sauce. So it gives you like a good balance. Whereas imagine if you're eating like traditional white pasta with like a heavy Alfredo sauce, kind of a disaster. It's just not something you want if you want to be bikini ready and want to stay fit. Obviously we have our cheat meals, but this feels like a cheat meal and it's not a cheat meal. If you want to know how to make zoodles, they call it, zucchini noodles, you can get a spiralizer. They have ones that are like bigger machines that you can make a big bulk amount in, or you can get like a little handheld one. I've used that too, and it just does it really, really quickly. Super easy to make. You can do them raw. Sometimes people will like kind of blanch them in hot water for like 30 seconds. That makes them a little softer. So you can try. This one's got like a really nice pesto sauce. I'm gonna take a bite. So good. The next thing we have are these tofu shirataki noodles. These are very similar to miracle noodles. They kind of look a little weird maybe. They come in a bag. They're always filled with water. These are really interesting. If you look at the back, this entire package is 20 calories and 6 grams of carbs. Sometimes the miracle noodles have 0, which is interesting. But I remember when I first found these noodles, I was like, how is this possible? And I'd ask what they were made of, and they said condensed fiber. Like, what does that mean? So I researched a little bit, and basically where this comes from is this plant. It's an Asian plant, and then it's ground up into a flour, and then it's used to make noodles. That plant is also often used to make tofu, which is why these are called tofu shirataki noodles. You can use it for a lot of different things. So you are actually getting a pretty good amount, 2 grams of fiber per serving. This whole package has 4 grams of fiber. They have an interesting smell. They almost smell a little bit fishy, which I'm wondering if this plant comes from the sea, because sea veggies sometimes can have that too, like seaweed. So what I recommend doing with this is putting it in a strainer, rinsing it really, really well. Like, I like to run water over it, hot or cold, for like a good minute. That will get that smell off. And then they're literally ready to go. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is rinse them. You could add on some tomato sauce. This is like the easiest fast meal if I could ever think of one. No excuse to ever get Postmates if you're starving, you just need something really quick, or like even go through a drive-through, because you could make these in 2 seconds, and this is way healthier than a McDonald's or Burger King drive-through. I don't recommend these all the time because you do need carbs and fat and calories. Like, we do need that to nourish our body. So you shouldn't be eating these every night. If you just want something to fill you up and something really low in calorie, this is a great pasta alternative. And you can eat these warm or cold. I will link all of these below this video too. The next one is probably my favorite. Kelp noodles are actually seaweed. They're a type of seaweed, and they're formed into a noodle. So this is actually a sea vegetable in itself. I love kelp noodles because they're so good for you. They're so high in nutrients and minerals, and they are so low calorie. This entire bag is 18 calories, and you wouldn't be able to eat the whole bag. While tofu noodles are also low in calorie, if you had to choose one based on nutrients, all around kelp noodles are better. These are actually ready to eat right out of the bag. They're like a tad crunchy, so if you want them softer, you can soak them in lemon water overnight, and that will soften them up. Or if you make any kind of cream or sauce, kind of the same idea as with the zucchini noodles, you can put a heavier cream sauce or whatever with these, and it will soften them up. If you're ever out or you see these on a menu for kelp noodles, just know it's a really filling meal with really, really low calorie. Like, you can't really get better than kelp noodles. You can throw them in stir fries, you can put them, mix them in with different things, eat them on their own. I love them with pesto also. If you guys have any recipes for kelp noodles or spaghetti squash that you like, I actually read through your comments. Maybe other people can read through and find, so please post them and let me know. There's tons of good kelp noodle recipes out there. And the last one is kind of the basic one. This is our gluten-free pasta. There's so many variations of gluten-free pasta. So even if you do want like a more traditional tasting pasta, we've still got way better options than the plain old white pasta or wheat pasta. I pulled out 2 different kinds for this video so I could show you examples. This brand by Tolerant, this is just lentils. So red lentil pasta or any lentil pasta is gonna give you the most amount of protein. 1 serving of this is 21 grams of protein. I mean, pasta isn't supposed to be a high protein food. Normally you think of it as a high carb food. So this is actually really cool. The only ingredients in this are red lentil flour. So if you're looking for more protein, especially if you're vegan or vegetarian, if you want more plant-based protein, if you want to eat a big pasta dish and also get a lot of protein, this is for you. This one's brown rice. You can also find quinoa pasta. The texture is a bit different. The brown rice and quinoa are going to be much softer when you boil them. These are still soft, but just not quite as soft. So these have like a little bit, I say, a better texture, and the protein's lower. The protein's like about 4 grams in this. So it is a little bit of difference there, but I still highly recommend either brown rice or quinoa pasta over white pasta because you're getting more fiber, you're getting more nutrients, more protein, all around just a healthier choice. And I mean, the options also don't stop here. There's black bean pasta, there's edamame pasta, there's so many cool options out there. Okay, so there you have it. These are 5 pasta alternatives. These are really easy. That's kind of why I say there's no excuse. Like, I'm joking, but at the same time, there really is no excuse because there's so many healthy alternatives. And I actually always find little easy tips and tricks to give into my cravings in a healthy way because I don't believe in depriving yourself. If you are craving something, you're gonna think about it until you actually eat that food. So I actually made a video for you guys where I teach you how to kind of give into the cravings you like, but in really cool ways. I use really unique foods, like if you have a late night sugar craving or a cereal craving or a juice craving, I came up with like really creative tips and tricks that I've come up with over the years. I'll put the link to that video in the description, or you can just go to gethotandhealthy.com and it will tell you all my little tips and tricks there. I hope you guys like this video. Let me know in the comments. I do read through all your comments, so let me know if you'd rather me actually show you the recipes or if you kind of like how I laid it out here, and I'll see you next time.